So hi, I'm Nick. I'm a senior at Drake University with a computer science major. Here is a website I built for my web design class. This is a site for doing Japanese vocab um, and kanji and whatever you kind of want to do. So you kind of start out just homepage, and the main thing is going to be here with the quizzes. So you can choose the number of questions you want. I have it preset to 5, 10, 20, or 50. You can choose the levels. This is based off of the JLPT, the Japanese Language Proficiency Test, which is just a scale for language proficiency in Japanese. Then you can also choose tags, so each of the words in the pre-built dataset that I have has some different tags attached to them, and so you can choose whichever ones you want. Not all of them have a ton of words in them, but if you see something you like, you can at least try it out. So if I go here and do 5 questions, and I'll do the easiest level. If I start the quiz, it pops up like this, so it shows your score currently, question number you're on, and here's the kanji, so you have to figure out which English word is going to match up with this kanji here, and here's the hiragana for that kanji. So basically you'll just go through, and it's going to give you 4 different options for what the answer may be. So start off, I'll just start going through. I might get some of these wrong, but dog, yeah. Okay, cool. So I got 100%. And so if I jump over to my stats page, I can see the previous exams that I took. So I got 100 here, 40% here, 100 here, and the one I just took now I got 100 on. So here you'll display all the previous exams and kind of how you're doing overall on your quizzes. Then if you jump over here to manage, this is where you can add your own new words. And down here is where you can see all of the words that are currently in the vocabulary. So right now, if I jump to here and check out animal, I see that there is dog, cat, turtle, sparrow, and cow. And so if I go ahead and want to add a new one in, I add the kanji, add the hiragana, add the English, put the level that you think it's at. If you don't know, you can probably just Google, and then give it a tag. And so if I click add word, then boop, it clears, and in my vocabulary it goes up to 6, and here's horse and 5. And so if I were to go back to my quizzes, 5, animal, somewhere here, and 5, start quiz. In the case that you don't have enough of the specific thing, it'll tell you that how many you found, and that you need at least however many to try the whole thing. And so, because there's not enough, I'll just switch it off of all. And here we go. So we have sparrow, turtle, and here's our horse. So, so that's an example of basically all the features on the site specifically. So if I jump off of the website now, here is the page where the front end is being deployed for the site. This is using Netlify. Jumping over to the other page, this is where the back end is being deployed at, and this is on render. And then finally, we have MongoDB, which is where the database is storing the things like the quiz results, and the different vocab that is being stored. And you can see here the quiz results from just a little bit ago. Now, one of the more challenging things with this project was simply the deployment. There's so many things commuting with each other. The Netlify, the render, the MongoDB. It's using a structure, I believe, called MERN, because it's Mongo, Express, React, and then Node. And so you have this basic structure to kind of build up how all these things are talking with each other using the front end and back end. And it's one thing to get things working locally, but to get it working on deployed servers, and then you're pushing things to GitHub to try and test the changes, and there's all sorts of things that can break, and it takes a bit longer to even test the changes that you're trying to make, allowing the whole thing to just become a lot harder to get correct. And finally, a interesting thing or more complicated thing to try and get working. As it wasn't more complicated, it was more of a design decision of figuring out how I wanted to have the quiz work, because when answering questions, if I wanted to have the person type out the answer, then that assumes that the person has a decently high level in the language to be able to type out and know the exact correct answer. So there's that. But also, if I had to parse typing, then something like if somebody answered I instead of me, the kanji for that is the same. And so it's hard to kind of pick up on exactly when a person is right enough that you would still give them a correct answer. And if the person or the user types in an answer that is basically correct and it's given wrong, that can be very frustrating. So I went through with the approach of just using 4 multiple choice answers. And so at first I was thinking of just using the set of questions that were being given in that during quiz to pull answers from and randomly kind of choose which other 3 distractors, as we're calling them. But I realized in doing so, it could become almost pretty easy to guess what the correct answer is, just because if you're doing a 5-question quiz and there's 5 answers basically being swapped around, you can start to figure out exactly by the end which is the correct answer just based off of the other problems you've done. And so instead I decided to search the entire kind of database to grab different vocab instead. And so yeah, this was my website, and I hope you like it.